Some lights aren't blessings from God. Some lights are so damn hollow that they feel more dangerous than the dark itself. It was late at night. Darkot village had that old earthy smell, the kind you only feel in deep mountain valleys. The bonfire in front of us flickered softly, fighting the cold. I sat there with my uncle, both of us stretching our legs toward the flames like two travelers trying to warm their bones after a long, brutal day. Mountain nights are always quiet. But this one, its silence felt wrong, like the air was hesitating, stopping and starting on its own. Like something was watching the ground around us. Uncle leaned toward me and asked, "You feel something weird about tonight?" I didn't laugh. I just nodded slowly. Yeah, something's off. The firelight danced on our faces, but the cold had sunk all the way into our bones. Above us, the sky was crystal clear. The snowy Himalayan peaks were shining from miles away, but even their glow had something eerie about it, like it was freezing the air around us. The wedding house behind us had been full of noise all day, laughing, music, dole beats. But as soon as night fell, everything went silent. No dogs barking, no footsteps, nothing, just us. Us and that night. A night that felt like it was waiting for something. I tossed another log into the bonfire and asked, "Why are nights here so damn quiet?" Uncle looked me dead in the eyes. Not every night is quiet, some nights just listen. His words slid straight into my chest. And right then, I saw something at the turn of the narrow street. A glow, faint at first, like someone waving a white cloth in the air. Then it slowly grew brighter. I thought maybe it was a porch light, or moonlight reflecting off a rock. But then I realized it wasn't static, and it wasn't from any house. It was moving. A white figure of light. Human-like, woman-like, but not human. Pure white. Glowing. Silent. It didn't walk, it glided. Sliding through the air like the breeze itself was carrying it forward. "Uncle, you seeing this?" He squinted at it, and his face drained of all color. I thought these stories were just myths, but his voice cracked. The white silhouette slowly came into focus. Not just a glow, but the faint outline of a figure, like a veil hanging over the head. Hair flowing down, feet not touching the ground, a body glowing as if lit from within. But the strangest part, despite its movement, it didn't feel alive. Its motions were too smooth, unnatural, like something mimicking life but not understanding it. I kept staring at it, and I swear, it felt like it was staring right back. The brighter it glowed, the colder my chest became. Like the cold was spreading from inside me instead of around me. The silhouette stopped, right at the corner of the street facing us. Not close enough to touch, but close enough that we couldn't pretend it wasn't real. Uncle whispered sharply, "Don't move." I froze. The creature bent slightly, like it was listening, or smelling something. Then it turned its faceless glow toward us. Its face wasn't a face at all, just a hollow dark patch where the glow leaked out. My breath stopped. My stomach dropped, like someone reached inside and grabbed my heart with ice-cold fingers. Uncle grabbed my wrist. His hand was freezing. "It's looking at us," I whispered. Uncle replied in a shaking voice, "No, it's recognizing us." Those words chilled me deeper than anything else. The silhouette started moving again. This time, straight toward us. Slow, painfully slow, but directly our way. The glow cutting through the darkness like a blade. I stepped back instinctively. Uncle squeezed my wrist harder. "Feed the fire now." I grabbed the logs lying beside us and threw them into the flames. The bonfire roared. Sparks flew. The flames shot upward. And then something strange happened. The brighter the fire grew, the more the white silhouette stopped moving. Like the firelight built a wall in front of it. A barrier. Why'd it stop? Are they scared of fire? I asked. Uncle swallowed hard. These aren't people. They're things. Fire holds them back. Light blocks light. The silhouette stayed there, glowing, trembling, but frozen. Then slowly, like drifting backward on an invisible wind, it began to retreat, slipping away, fading back into the narrow street, and the dark swallowed it whole. One moment, just one, and it was gone. But the cold it left behind lingered in the air, a suffocating chill that wrapped around the entire courtyard. Uncle exhaled deeply. I don't think it left because it saw us. I think it stayed because it recognized us. I turned around. Everything was pitch black. The old neem tree in the corner didn't even sway. But I swear, something was standing there. That same cold, that same presence, that same gaze. And then, I felt something right beside me. Someone breathing, right at my ear. But when I turned, there was no one. I whispered to Uncle, I swear something's standing right here. Uncle closed his eyes. Some things don't need to be seen. They stay anyway. And if you can feel it, it means it's coming back. The night suddenly felt deeper. The courtyard smaller. The fire weaker. Like the darkness itself had pulled up a chair next to us. Like that white silhouette wasn't gone, just hiding from our eyes. Because if it had only been passing by, then what the hell was breathing right behind me? The night had slipped into that strange hour where time doesn't move forward anymore. It just hangs. The bonfire flames were dying down, shrinking into slow, tired flickers. The old wooden chair in the corner rocked a little with the breeze, but somehow didn't make a sound. It felt like the whole night had stopped breathing, just to stare at us. The white silhouette was gone, but its presence still clung to the air. Like something was standing inches away, invisible, but absolutely there. I whispered, Uncle, can it come back? Uncle kept his eyes locked on the fire. Things you see in this place, that's exactly what they do. I swallowed. What do they do? Uncle answered quietly. They watch. My throat dried up. Watch. Just watch. Why would something that isn't even human return just to look at us? For a second I thought maybe Uncle was trying to scare me. But the stiffness in his jaw, the shallow panic in his breathing, that was all real. The bonfire was dimming even more. Add more wood, Uncle said. If the light drops too much, it'll come close again. I got up quickly to grab more logs. But the moment I stepped away from the fire, the cold didn't just feel cold. It stabbed, a deep biting chill that crawled under the skin. As I bent to pick up the wood, I felt movement behind me. Something shifting, lighter than air, but sharp enough to freeze my spine. I turned instantly. The street behind us was empty, dark swallowing more dark. But I knew something was there. Right there. I rushed back to the fire. Uncle glanced at me. What did you see? He asked. I didn't see anything, but I felt something pass behind me, I said shakily. Like someone walked right by. Uncle was quiet for a second. Then he said, It's still here. It only shows itself when it wants to. My hands trembled. The bonfire burned brighter now. but somehow the circle of light felt smaller, like darkness was pushing its way inward. And then, I noticed something. At the far end of the village, there was a short stone wall. Old, worn down. People probably used to sit there and gossip in the evenings. But right now, it stood completely deserted. Above that wall, a tiny shimmer appeared. I whispered sharply, "Uncle, look over there." Uncle looked. His breath hitched in his throat. "She's coming back," he said under his breath. The shimmer grew, from a tiny spark, to a faint pattern, to a blurry outline, until finally, it shaped itself again. The silhouette returned, that same glowing white body, with something like a soul inside, but a form that wasn't human. It glided forward again, but this time, slower, like it wasn't just watching. It was thinking. I whispered carefully, "Why is she moving like that? What is she looking for?" Uncle didn't answer. He just stared hard, his face tight with a fear I'd never seen before. The silhouette froze again, absolutely still, and it turned its light-shaped face toward us. This time the face was clearer. No eyes, no nose, no mouth, just a hollow, dark gap, with light leaking out from inside. That glow chilled everything it touched. The wall, the dirt, even the air seemed to frost over. Uncle's hand landed on my shoulder. "Don't move at all," I whispered. "She's staring straight at us." Uncle replied softly, "She knows we saw her the first time." A wave of cold shot straight through my chest. The silhouette drifted forward again, straight at us. I tossed 2 more logs into the fire. The flames flared up. She stopped again, but this time, she didn't back away. She stayed, right at the edge of the fire's reach, and her glow began to pulse, slow at first, then faster, almost like she was breathing. For a moment, I thought she was watching us. Then I thought she was listening. Then I realized she was counting us. Uncle hissed, "Don't make eye contact. Anything that chooses to appear can crawl inside you through your eyes." I jerked my gaze downward instantly. But even without looking, I felt her, right in front of me, breathing light. Uncle's breathing picked up. I think she's following someone. She wasn't wandering. She's tracing something. Tracing what? Us. Our footsteps. Our breath. Our fear. Some missing part of us. The silhouette began turning its head left and right, like someone searching for a lost child, trying to call out. But she had no voice. Then she drifted forward so slowly, to the very edge of the fire's light, right where light and darkness touched. The moment froze. Even my heartbeat felt loud enough to echo. She bent down slightly, as if listening to the ground. Uncle whispered, "If the fire drops even a little, she'll come all the way in." I rushed to grab more wood, but the second I stepped away from the fire, a violent chill slid down my back, sharp targeted, like someone was standing right behind me. But the silhouette was still in front of us. So who? I ran back to the fire. Uncle stared at me intensely. What happened? I swallowed hard. I felt someone right behind me, almost touching me. Uncle's face changed instantly. There might be more than one. My breath stopped. The courtyard suddenly didn't feel like a courtyard. Every corner felt alive. Every shadow felt occupied. Every gust of cold air felt like fingers. The white silhouette still hovered at the border of light and darkness. But now I was sure. She wasn't alone. Those breaths I felt near my neck. That growing cold despite the fire. That darkness creeping closer from all sides. Something else was here too. Watching us from behind. The night grew heavier. The glow hung in the air like a suspended heartbeat. And the two of us stood there, like actors on a dead stage, being watched by something that didn't blink, didn't breathe, and didn't leave. If that light was only watching us, then what was the thing I felt breathing right behind my back? The night wasn't the same night anymore. The courtyard, which just minutes ago looked like an old, cold, empty square, was now the center of a gaze. A gaze you can't see, but you feel crawling over your skin. The silhouette still stood at the border of light and darkness, but this time its glow was different. It wasn't just white light anymore. Its glow had a faint pulse, like something alive was breathing. But the breath wasn't going inside anything. It was just expanding inside the light itself. I whispered slowly to Uncle, "Why isn't it moving? It's like it froze in place." Uncle watched it for a second, then murmured, "When light stops breathing, that's the worst sign. It means it's fully aware. It means it's looking." That's when I noticed something strange. The glow on its body wasn't even. The top part dimmed. The lower part brightened. Like something at its feet was inspecting the ground. Like it wasn't watching us. It was listening to the dirt. I swallowed. "What's it looking for down there?" Uncle didn't answer, but the fear in his eyes. That kind of fear only happens when someone recognizes something they can't put into words. Then he whispered a single word. "Trace." My whole body went cold. The glow bent down again. Lower this time, almost touching the earth. It moved without sound, soft and weightless, like a torn flag drifting in air. My breath jammed in my throat. Uncle whispered, "It's searching for a path, a sign, something you or I might have left behind." I squeezed my eyes shut. A path, a sign. What could we possibly have left behind? Then something even stranger happened. The silhouette's glow brightened again. But now it wasn't just one body. A second layer flickered beside it, like another faint outline splitting away from the first one. Almost like a shadow being duplicated inside the light. I couldn't even speak. Uncle whispered, "It's not alone anymore." The bonfire flames began climbing higher fast, as if even the fire was scared. But the brighter the fire got, the clearer the silhouettes became. One shadow, two shadows, then a third faint tremor in the air. But only one was fully visible. The others were just blurred sketches, unfinished like half-drawn ghosts. Those shadows hung to the sides, but the main silhouette was facing us. Then it drifted forward, all the way to the edge of the fire, and stopped. It turned its glowing body just a little. And this time, a thin, dark crack opened across its hollow face, like an eyeless gaze, staring straight through us. Uncle grabbed my arm instantly. "Don't move. When something stares at you that close, it means you are the reason it stopped." My voice cracked. "Because of me." Uncle nodded. "When you panicked earlier and stepped back, I think that's the trace it caught. It's following your movement." A chill ripped down my spine. My step, my movement. One tiny moment of fear. I was still processing that when no sound came. Not a whisper, not a breath, nothing. But the silhouette twitched. From that dark crack, its inner light pulsed harder. Like it had figured it out. Like it confirmed it was following me. The fire flared up violently. The silhouette stepped back again. But this time it didn't halt. As it drifted backward, it froze for one last second. Absolutely still. Like a stuck video frame. Then it began dissolving into the air. Like a picture melting in water. The silhouette disappeared. But the crack, that hollow sense of being watched, that ghost-cold air, all of it stayed behind, lingering. Uncle closed his eyes for a moment, then said quietly, "It hasn't left. It's memorized your steps. It'll come back for them." The courtyard suddenly felt smaller. The night got heavier, so heavy it hurt to breathe. I felt footsteps behind me again. A shadow, a presence, a cold breath on my back. But when I turned, nothing. No body. No figure. No glow. Just the feeling. Just the cold. Just that trace. If it was only tracing the light. Then why did I start hearing the sound of my own footsteps in the dark? When I wasn't even moving. Those were the hours of the night where even darkness seems tired of being darkness. But tonight, the dark wasn't lifeless. It was alive, leaning toward us. The bonfire was still burning, but its flame was thinning, like something was clenching the air with invisible fingers. I shifted my foot, just a tiny bit, barely anything, and instantly, a line of ice shot from my spine straight up my neck. Uncle snapped his head up. "Don't move, the trace is getting deeper." I swallowed, but I just only a lit. "That's exactly the problem," Uncle cut in. "These things can sense the tiniest shift. Your place, your pace, even the way you breathe." I looked around. The courtyard felt fuller now. Like some unseen crowd had gathered in the middle of the night. But no one was visible. Just the feeling. Then, in a blink, I saw my shadow split into two on the ground. One half almost turned toward me. And then the bonfire steadied, and my shadow snapped back to normal. I couldn't tell if my eyes were messing with me, or if something had actually passed over my shadow. Uncle exhaled slowly. "Some things here don't use shadows. They use light. And your light is in their hands now." My breath got stuck. "My light." He didn't answer directly. He just stared at me, long and worried. "You felt it, right? That presence right behind you, moving half a second after your own step." My lips refused to move. Yes, I had felt it. Exactly that. Like someone was copying my footsteps, but slightly delayed. Almost like they were learning. Uncle muttered quickly, "It's learning your walk." My blood iced over. Learning my walk. Why? For what? I forced myself to ask. But the glowing silhouette disappeared, right? Uncle answered softly. The silhouette left. The trace didn't. A faint flicker passed across the edge of my vision, like a thread of white light stretching for an inch, then snapping. But its cold touch slid across my throat. Then, something else. The courtyard floor was perfectly flat. But right in front of me, the dirt rose a little, like something underneath was pressing upward. Uncle instantly warned, "Don't step toward it. It's marking." My voice broke. Marking what? Uncle's eyes focused on the narrow lane beside us. Where your breath falls, it memorizes. Where your eyes stop, it traces. My gaze clung to the fire, hard. Uncle rubbed his forehead. "It's mapping your presence. Mapping me." That was the scariest sentence I'd heard in my life. Then, I felt it. Something brushed past me, right beside my body. Invisible, but it stole a thread of light from the air, like something had just lifted my outline. I gasped. "Uncle," something just moved through me. Uncle stood up instantly. He looked at me and said only one thing. "It's not just learning your walk, your breath, your place." His voice cracked. "It's learning your face." A cold line crawled down both my arms. Uncle threw more wood into the bonfire. But this time, the fire didn't flare up. It struggled, like something heavy was smothering the light. Then, at the far edge of the fire, a faint shimmer appeared again. Very thin, very delicate, almost human, but not a body, just a shape, like a drawing being completed in the air. This time it wasn't the original silhouette. This was something else. It was exactly my height, exactly my standing posture. My legs trembled. Uncle stared in shock, then whispered, "It's copying your light." My mouth dried up. My light. That shimmering outline moved, subtle and slow, like someone was sculpting my shadow on the canvas of light. It tilted its head toward me. And then, for one moment, the shape froze solid. And in that freeze, I swear it looked like a hollow version of me. A silent sketch made of light. No breath, no voice, just an empty outline, standing exactly the way I was. When that glowing outline turned toward me, a cold shot went straight through my eyes. Uncle hissed, "That silhouette wasn't following you." His face drained of color. "It was replicating you." Silence sank straight into my bones. If the light was only tracing me, then why was that faint outline standing in my exact posture, when I wasn't standing like that at all? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends.